It's Mike Leahy. I'm in Swansea and it's Swan TV. And we're outside the Waterfront Museum with the new space aircraft brought down by the UK Space Agency. I'm going to talk to Ian Annett, the Deputy CEO of the Space Agency. Let's talk to him now.
The Space for Everyone tour is really a project from the UK Space Agency to bring this full-size 72-foot replica rocket to 10 or more different places around the country. And the intention really is to get the interest from young people and that they can understand that there is space for everyone in the space sector to work. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist or an engineer to work in the space sector. It takes many people, from business development, through lawyers, through even people like philosophers who have to think about difficult questions about where we need to go. So we really want to spark that imagination with youngsters, come and talk to us and inspire the next generation to get involved in space. But you're absolutely right, we're not part of the European Union, but we're a core founding member of the European Space Agency. And it's a really important partnership for us with the 22 other nations that make up the European Space Agency. It's a team sport. Nothing can get delivered into orbit or to the moon or to Mars or beyond without it really being an international endeavour. So the European Space Agency is a really important part of the relationship that we have, and there are many, many science missions that we engage with through the European Space Agency. We have some fantastic scientists who push really hard for science missions, and if you think about things like the James Webb Space Telescope and the near-infrared camera that's on there, that's been bringing some fantastic images that are looking back within 400 million years of the start of the universe, then that's British inventions. When you think about Rosalind Franklin going to the moon at the end of the decade, going to Mars at the end of the decade, then again, British technology. Just on some of those science missions though first as well, when you think about NASA missions to Mars, then there's UK technology on that. The electro-optics that they use for their cameras comes from near Chelmsford. When you look at the parachute material, that came from Devon, that actually put NASA's mission onto the moon. But then closer to home, of course, when you think about GPS and position, navigation and timing, you don't go very far at all in this world without dependency on space, whether, as I say, looking at your position on a telephone or indeed even pulling money out of a wall from the bank. All of that relies on space, data and timing. And so it's a really, really important economic sector to work in, as well as scientific and inspirational. Any youngster these days who thinks about a career in space, they're only really limited by their imagination themselves. There are many different aspects, whether it's communications as well. Getting the message across to people about how important space is takes many different forms. Some of it is through visual media, some of it is through art. Business development, where space is becoming a commodity and commercialization. So if you want to go into business and are interested by space, you can do that aspect of it. With the proliferation of satellites in low Earth orbit, just 400 to 1200 kilometers above us, that becomes a real legal complex area as well. So if you're interested in space but want to become a lawyer, there's room for you there. Or indeed, if you think about things like philosophy, so should we be mining the moon? Should we be mining asteroids? There are some really difficult things that we need to think about. So hence the name of the tour. There is space for everyone in this, and we really want to be able to inspire the next generation to come and think about a career in space. Swansea's got a very dear place in my heart, not only as my daughter recently graduated from Swansea University, where she was living on the Singleton campus. I go back to when I was 18 and the very first ship that I served on, HMS Glamorgan, whose adopted town was Swansea. What a fantastic welcome I remember, and I've been all over the world in the Royal Navy, but I still hold that the best run ashore I've ever had was Swansea in HMS Glamorgan.
I'm David Davies, the Secretary of State for Wales, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here at this UKSA, the UK Space Agency exhibition, with this demonstration replica rocket. This is exactly the model that would be able to take satellites into space. And we're here really in Swansea today at the museum to enable young people and slightly older ones to find out all about the space industry. It's an industry that employs nearly 49,000 people across the United Kingdom in a whole manner of different ways. So I think the top message from all of us in the UK government today is you don't need to be American, you don't need to live in America in order to work in the space industry. This is a really, really exciting industry of the future, and it's wonderful to see so many young people here. And when they speak to Josh Weston of Space Forge or Ian Annett, they're going to be really, really enthused by the number of opportunities that there are. I'm absolutely delighted to be in Swansea. What better place? I mean, Swansea University have already taken me around to see the research that they're doing around semiconductors. Semiconductors can actually be made in space, and Josh has been talking all about that. There's an absolute fantastic amount of research taking place with the university in Swansea, and I can't think of a better place for people to launch a career in space. Unwaith eto, right? Fi'n David Davies o'r Ysgrifennydd Gymru. Fi'n wrth fy modd I bod yma yn Abertawe heddiw am y lawns o'r UKSA exhibition I ymddangos y rocket yma. Dyna replica o'r hyn sy'n mynd i'r gofod. Mae hyn yn gallu cymryd satellites ac yn ganiatau bobl I creu pethau fel semiconductors yng ofod. A mae'n wrth fod hynny wedi ddechrau yng Nghymru yn Abertawe, achos mae cymaint o bobl ifanc wedi ddod yma, a maen nhw'n gallu siarad gyda Ian Annett, Josh Weston o Space Forge, yn ffeindio allan am y cyfleoedd tyrfa maen nhw'n gallu gael yn y diwydiant gofod.